They don't do roofs, basically.
Yeah, there's a couple local people that do this kind of things. I'll make some calls and see if we can get
What else is stored in that building?
just that.
Just that, who owns that?
Well, the town owns the building.
No, who owns the pressure washer?
Oh, well, yeah,
The town owns the pressure washer?
yeah. And during the winter, we bring it up here. As soon as the docks are out,
Yeah.
it comes up here and it lives in the garage, or lives up in cold storage.
No, we keep it here.
Oh, keep it here, well, so it doesn't freeze. 'Cause
Yeah,
there's
just
wa-
to
yeah,
make
'cause there's
sure.
water in it. So we stored it in here, so it's used during the summer. But, you know, the estimate's for $5,400.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's pretty high, right?
It's a shingle roof or is it a flat?
Tin.
It's tin.
Tin.
I mean, yeah,
Tin
I
is-
mean, we could,
Isn't it the corrugated metal roof?
yeah. So I found this to be extremely high, so I'll make some phone calls. Huh?
You couldn't almost build there for that price.
You could.
We could put a whole new building there for that. So I'll look up.
I had a new roof on my whole camp for $3,500.
And I just want to bring up, I know we're running long, I want to bring up the school issue. So there was a school board meeting that many people are aware of, and there was some contention there. There's a couple of different topics that were items of contention. I'm not going to do the part that are the parents' concerned, which I also am concerned about, the timing and what they want done. That's for the parents to fight with them about when their kids are getting picked up. My concern was the things that they said that both myself and Joey said, which is not true. And what they, at this meeting, said that the highway department was going to do, which is not true. The next morning I got a call, well, John came in and told me what happened at the meeting. Shortly afterwards, Lori called me, told me basically the same exact thing that John said. I put in a call to Jim Knight and did not get a call back from him. That was on Thursday, I called him. On Monday, I got a call back from Steve, and I never know his last, Bartholomew. Apparently he's the president of the school board.
Yeah.
He called me back. I questioned a lot of things, and he basically denied everything that I told him that was said. I said that you came out and said that I said I wasn't going to, well, the statement was, the town supervisor in Dannemora said she's not going to shovel the sidewalks, but the new supervisor coming in November said he would. Well, first of all, you know, he doesn't even know when people get elected and when they start coming to office. And he asked me, he says, well, I heard it from a very reliable source. And I know who the source of what I said. He goes, was the statement not true? And I said, in my part, I did tell the person that you're referring to, which he would never confirm who it was. I said, I did tell them, no, the highway department is not shoveling the sidewalks. When it's snowing, they're on the roads plowing. That's their job. Their job is not to shovel sidewalks. But I said, don't you check your sources? He said, well, this comes from a very reliable source. I said, but if you were going to say in a public meeting that I said something and he said something, wouldn't you call me and him to find out if we actually said what was said? Well, it came from a very reliable, one of your people. And so I was like, well, regardless of that, I've made my point. And I said, if you had let our highway foreman talk at the meeting, you would have seen what his concern was. Now, he initially only wanted to talk about the fact that his 6-year-old has to get on the bus at 10 minutes after 6 in the morning at a bus stop. I said, if you'd have listened to him, you would have understood what he was trying to tell you is that you are now going to cost the town overtime every morning that it snows because there's no way they can clear those roads before 6 o'clock on the time that they come to work. They're in a contract, and the contract says they start at 5 o'clock. They can't clear all the roads by 6 o'clock. And, well, that's something you're gonna have to work out. And, okay. And I said, it was also said at the meeting that you expect the towns to provide the bus stops. And, oh, no, we never said that. So I said, do you have recordings of your meetings? Oh, no, you can't record these meetings. And I said, well, of course you can. I said, it's an open meeting. And he said, well, I guess we don't record the meetings. And so I said, well, I'm sure somebody there did, so I will listen to them. But I said, I've had more than one source tell me exactly what you guys said.
This is the Northern Adirondack School District?
Yeah. So, they're figuring things, well, no, our bus garage, supervisor is figuring out, you know, where we're gonna buy these huts and whatnot. And I'm getting with the county and the state to figure out where we can put them and,
What's
So
school starting in 7 days?
and I said, well, I brought up the point that Lori had brought up that night, and I said, well, I hope, what about all the cars that are gonna be parked around us? Because no one's gonna leave their child in the
In
wintertime
the streets
at a
of
bus.
Honey Mountain in the morning.
Yeah,
You know, really, you know?
so,
Pickup time is.
he says, oh, no, they need to drop them off. And I said, as somebody who used to have a 6-year-old, there's no way I would get them out of the car and tell them to go stand in this bus stop, especially in the middle of winter. Even in the middle of summer, I would not let my 6-year-old stand in a bus stop. So there are some very big issues that they kind of kicked down the road until the very last minute when they sent out the letters to the parents. But I did tell him that in the future, before you make decisions that impact the towns around you, then you need to bring the town supervisors and the highway superintendents in on your discussions, because obviously everything that you thought you had decided isn't decided now, because none of the towns are cooperating with you because you're throwing this at them. You have a school budget. If you were gonna buy bus stops, that should have been part of your school budget. So,
The town doesn't even probably have land available to put bus stops on up there. So
We
you're
don't.
Putting it on private property, you know what I mean? None of this stuff was thought out. I didn't go to the meeting, but I heard what was going on. And I've been to previous ones there, which were a show.
Yeah.
To just say the least. They don't listen to you, they don't want nothing to, they know best, they know what's best for you, they don't wanna hear nothing from you. You don't know nothing. That's the way they operated, and I hear that's the way it was that night.
Yeah.
Very rude operation from the president of the school board.
well, I did ask why Mr. Knight did not call me back, because he's the one I called, and this Steve said, well, I'm the president of the board, this was my meeting, that's why I'm calling you back. And I said, well, from what I understand, Mr. Knight did most of the talking, so it might have been your meeting, but it was his comments that I wanted him to respond on. So, you know, if you didn't have the
It was
whatevers.
the board president that spoke about you implying certain things. Mr. Knight did not.
No. So, but he was very uncomfortable talking to me. I did a lot of throat clearing, did a lot of coughing, did a lot of, so, I mean, I don't know what good
I'm
I,
glad to hear that he misrepresented you, because I was a little like, that doesn't really sound like Deb. So I'm happy to hear that.
I mean,
there's
and I did tell
more to the story.
a school board member that, no, our highwaymen are not going to be shoveling walks when they're plowing the roads.
That's his decision.
No.
That's not your decision, that's his decision to make at that point in time. They should have been directing those concerns to that man.
Yep.
Because he's the one that controls that.
Well, and, you know,
What is the law at Dannemora in terms of sidewalks? Is it the responsibility of the town or the responsibility of the homeowner?
it's not even addressed, but, and so what
Okay,
this guy told me, he says, well, it's understood in state law that residents, if the town, city, or village does not clear the sidewalks, then the residents that live where the sidewalk is on their property, then they clear it. And he was like, well, that's what Plattsburgh does, that's what Beekmantown does. And I said, you have to understand the amount of snow we get here compared to Plattsburgh and Beekmantown. I had to give him a little bit of a geography lesson. I said, The towns you were talking about are sitting at 300 to 500 feet above sea level. Our lowest elevation is about 1,500 feet. So we're talking 1,500 feet to over 2,000. So when they're getting a little dusting, we're getting piled on. When they're getting rain, we're getting ice. So I
And
said,
Mr. Knight did acknowledge that Lion Mountain is what drives a lot of the lake delays because of the elevation. The elevation and the distance from the school are major factors that nobody can control.
well, and they complain about the roads, but it's not the town roads that they have the issues with. It's the Bradley Pond Road, it's the Plank Road. We don't clear those roads. That's the county. So, you know, you can bitch and moan about the drive to school, but your drive through Dannemora is fine. It's when you hit the county roads, Bradley Pond Road, Plank Road, that there's the issues.
Nothing has changed in this district over the years as far as bus routes go. If anything, the winters have gotten milder than what they used to be. And they used to do it with no problems all these years. We had all these runs that got picked up, it's all grew up around here, 10, quarter, 20 after 7, and you made it to school in time. You didn't have to have 2 bus runs, everybody got on the bus, you might have had 3 to the seat, but that's the way it was. They make it seem like this is like, oh my God, look at this big deal we got. It's like, all you need to do is go back and look at the past practice of what was going on and try those runs. This Shazy Lake used to be one run. It went up to Wilford King Road, went up towards the mountain, come over this way, down the Shazy Lake Road, picked up everybody down Plank Road. Pretty simple. I mean, don't think a genius figured it out. You know, why do we need, they couldn't make 1 bus run last year, now they wanna make 2.
Yeah, right.
You know, how are you gonna do that? You know, it's just, I get so
Then
disgusted.
and then they call a snow day for 2 inches of snow.
And the snow day now will have to be called at 5 o'clock in the morning, cause they're picking up the kid at 10 after 6.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's just,
Yeah.
who would have ever heard such a thing at 10 after 6 in the morning, putting your kid on the bus?
Especially a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Put the high schoolers on the bus at 6 in the
Well,
morning.
that's another thing, is they're having the bus,
The other way around.
having the young
Right.
kids get on at 6, and then having the high schoolers get on at 9,
That don't make
because
sense.
the California studies say that a teenager's brain doesn't turn on
Yeah.
until 8:30 in the morning.
This
Well,
district is too big to run buses like that. You're putting extra miles, wear and tear, fuel on them buses for nothing.
yeah,
That's
well,
just-
and if you train high schoolers to only be functioning at 9 o'clock in the morning, where are they gonna get a job? Because you gotta function before 9 o'clock in the morning if you're gonna work anywhere, you know, unless you're, you know,
They're not.
working the night
technically
shift.
allocated in there. I don't
So,
know.
anyway, but I just wanted to clear that up, that what was said at that meeting had very little to do with reality.
yeah, no truth
But
at
there
all.
was still somebody from this, area, let's say, of the general, that did speak to them about this, correct?
Yes,
That's what they would.
that did say what I said. I don't know if that's where they also got the information on what they said he said. And I told
If
him,
neither of you said what they said, somebody made something up,
oh yeah,
correct?
Oh, there's no
You're telling
doubt
us
about
right
it.
now
Either
that
they
you
made
didn't
it
say
up-
something And you didn't say something, so somebody made something up.
That's correct.
so either they made it up or it was misunderstood by whoever was listening. They put their own spin on it, so.
Can I ask a question about another issue? Is that coming under other?
Sure.
I noticed they resurfaced Shazy Lake Road, and they completed Saranac, and they did a little bit of Dannemora. Are they gonna continue that project and do all of Shazy Lake Road at some time?
That's the county.
That's the county decision.
Yeah, and I think what they did was repairing
From the
more, you know,
washout.
when we had the washouts, they did the areas that got the most damage. Why they stopped at a certain point,
I don't know. They
Who
could have
knows?
kept going, actually.
but,
They
I
could have
mean,
kept going.
I
can ask-
The road, Shazy Lake Road's not in good shape.
mhm,
It's ripping apart on the edges, and
Yeah.
yeah,
there's a couple spots in the winter where Garmisch, the northern end of Garmisch hits Shazy Lake Road, and there's these big humps, and you have to really slow down, because you can bottom out. And
I can
it
ask the
disappears
county.
in the summer, but in the winter, it's quite bad.
Yeah.
Frosty there.
so I can ask the county what,
Thank you.
I mean,
Appreciate that.
I'll be
You did a
talking,
good job, I mean, so far, it looks nice at least, it's smooth.
Shades Lake Road. Okay. All right, committee reports. You guys have Danielle and Shane's reports. There's something else I need a motion on. Becky wants to apply for the Justice Court grant again. So we need to I need a motion to authorize Becky to apply for the Justice Court.
I make a motion for Becky to apply for the town justice grant.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It's up to 30,000, just to let you know, I'm not gonna.
Let's see, what else did I have? I think that's all I have. Jim,
No, it all.
Jason?
Not much, I got another EMS meeting coming up in September, we're working on that.
How'd the last one go?
Well, we'll see how it goes, we kind of put it off to the next meeting about doing like a 50-50 thing and discussing future options.
We did get the ambulance repaired. Did you,
Mirrors
I
are-
sent you an email. They're asking for, how did we do? So
Yeah,
I figured that you and Chris would be the best ones to tell them exactly how they did.
kind of had to go around with Riley Ford with getting the ambulance done. So, but the mirrors are on, it's fixed. It's back up and running.
And, yeah, and like I said, when, we got that shared services money, I'd like to fence some of that
Some of it
for
for,
repairs for the
repair.
ambulance. So,
Be a smart way to do it.
But we'll see what happens next month.
Joey?
I don't really have anything, just we are gonna get back into our comprehensive plan committees. Right now, Jackie is very busy with finalizing a lot of the in-motion plans that she has with MG Engineering. So, but it's not, we're not gonna let this go by the wayside. We just, the timing just needs to be right to get our committee back together and kick it off again. So we'll get it back going.
And we'll,
Do you think it would be possible to schedule an in-person meeting with the committee and her, like in the next fall? Like maybe in early October, late
Sure.
September?
I mean, she's actually, I talked to her about, oh my God, almost same time around I had the last board meeting, and she definitely said that the status of what the new changes have been was a good decision on our part to pull back and take a time out. So she actually mentioned it'd probably be good to reconnect with her to see what our next step should be.
And I was just thinking, I'd like to attend in person because the Zoom setup is very, very hard to hear.
Yeah, the Zoom meeting that we had, the last 2 or 3 Zoom meetings, it's been difficult to hear, and actually even to pick up off a computer, and we've had a lot of help with it, but we still have an issue with voice, or have an issue with it goes into a stalemate mode where
Yeah,
you
it would almost be
freeze
better
and
to have it completely remote instead of the hybrid meetings. The hybrid meetings are really tough.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we gotta figure
That's why I'm
out.
suggesting if there was any way that we could actually have an in-person meeting,
But we get more out of it.
month or so,
Yeah,
mid-October.
let me see what her schedule is, and I'll let you know from there.
when about are you guys,
Probably in October 23rd, 24th, we'll head south
Head south, okay.
after that
before then?
budget meeting.
Okay, let me see what I can do. Okay, that's it for me.
Any questions on anything before we go into? No. Mark. Sorry, Mark. I'm done.
Like I say, well, we're down one guy.
Mhm.
His final day's September 15th.
Yeah.
Debbie advertised for a MEO2. We got down to one application. It just shows you that people don't want these jobs anymore.
So the highway guys are hauling asphalt
We're doing
for
asphalt for Ellenburg
Ellenburg
right
right
now.
now.
We should be done tomorrow.
And they're using Moore's paver, right? Moore's.
And they did talk to Moore's, because Saranac, they got a brand new paver and they have nobody that knows how to run it right. And in fact, I think they're hiring out their paving even though they have a paver. They're
Well,
gonna-
I think they're not gonna get their paving done either. Cause everybody that does private paving is out straight right now.
Yeah.
So I doubt they'll even get what they need done. It's just shit show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Did we
Moore's,
get any paving done this year?
no,
No.
Moore's has said that they, next year, because they're out straight until snow flies too, that next year, that they would be able to help us with paving if,
You know, we even offered, they have one guy that can operate their paper. We even offered to run the screed on the back, but it just went over their
yeah,
heads.
that's Saranac issues.
Employees too, though, aren't they?
That-
Well, yeah, they're hurting the unit too.
Yeah, they're down,
Four, I think.
they have a 7-man off shop and they're down to 3.
Yeah,
7 men?
yeah.
Three
Well,
or four, I think.
they've been
Because
dropping.
they have, almost, I mean, with the county roads they do, they've got, 100 miles of road.
Yeah, they're in trouble.
So,
They're gonna be in
and they're
trouble.
down to 3
this
guys.
winter.
And we have about 22 miles with county?
Yeah.
What's the status on that? Is that for meeting for the county, the roads, everything still go with contract for this year? Have we
What's
talked
that?
about the county for the highway?
Well, we haven't had
Or-
that. So I've given Carl the numbers that he was looking for, and we've gone back and forth. He hasn't, said that he's ready to talk to the town supervisors again. Because everybody, I mean, basically everybody kind of said, you need to either pony up more money or,
Spell your own roads?
or
It's
do your own
gonna be
roads.
creeping up on them pretty quick, I mean.
Because I figured it out that last year, because there were several days that all we had to do was the county roads.
Yeah.
But we did a lot of, so there was a total of 80 days that the men went out on the county roads. And I calculated just their wages, not any of the soft costs, not any of the, fringe, nothing, just their wages and just what I calculated as what it cost per ton for the product that we put down. And that came up to about $120,000. And last year we got not even $67,000 from the county to do those roads. So we are taking a big bite out of our own budget to do county roads. Basically, all the supervisors got together with the support of the highway superintendents, but since we're the ones that signed the check, he wanted to talk to us. And we're basically all saying, county needs to give us more money or you're gonna do your own roads. And they can't do their own roads because they only have 2 trucks and a couple of people. I mean, they don't have the people or the trucks to do the roads. They've had 3 trucks on order now. They won't see the first one until May or March,
Yeah.
after snow season anyway. So they're between a rock and a hard place. They did have a roadblock sitting in the county. That roadblock is going away, so hopefully they will see reality a little bit more about how much it costs to actually do these roads. And hats off to Tim Napper and Saranac. He did a lot of the homework, with Glenn Cutter, who is his incoming assessor. And of course, Glenn worked with the county planning office for years. He retired out of there. And he got a lot of the stats on how much, like what the FEMA rates for using equipment and all of that. And just went way down in the weeds. I mean, Saranac went way down in the weeds as far as, okay, this hour, this guy with his wages and his soft costs and everything else, now you're paying $50 an hour for that person. And, and they purchase their sand. And so they have, I mean, as far as the town of Dannemora goes, we're probably the one who's getting the least amount of shafting from the county, but we still, it's not on us to have to
Sounds like those rates need to double.
to do their roads.
If you figured you only got 60 some odd thousand and got to 110, you pretty much need to
Yeah,
double.
well, that's basically,
You know?
yeah, we're already way behind, so. And granted, and one of the arguments is, well, you have to drive over our roads to get to your roads anyway. Well, we drive over the state roads to get to our roads too, and we don't drop a plow, so, we can very well drive, and then, and I need to call Carl and say, oh, by the way, the NAC school district has decided school starting earlier, so add those overtime hours to what I already gave you, because now, they're gonna have to do overtime every morning to clear the roads when it snows. So, I don't know if the county's gonna go back to the school and say, you gotta stop this. Yeah, that's
See what happens.
some of the fun conversations I have on a regular basis. If nobody has anything else, I need a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Any opposed?
None opposed.